Hello again, everybody, and welcome once again to the Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight. As you know, on this channel, we love to highlight inspiring business owners. They're going to share their stories with you. And as a little bonus, they're also going to share what drives their success. There's certainly going to be something for everyone to learn from. This episode is sponsored by Credit Bank, where you can get up to $500,000 in working capital in less time than it takes you to drive to the bank. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I'm your host again, Irv Cruz. I am joined by Chyllia Dixon. She is the owner of Hazelwood Mental Health. Chyllia, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invite.
Oh, the pleasure is all ours. So, Chyllia, I like to always start, like at the very beginning. Why did you start Hazelwood Mental Health, or how did it come about?
I have been a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner for about 10 years, and I was in a clinic where I felt like I was part of treadmill medicine, just that revolving door, people coming in, going, and not providing quality care. And I hit a point in my career where I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I would rather do something different. And I don't know what that is, but I'm done with treadmill medicine. So I left the clinic that I was at. I left a six-figure income, not knowing what the next step would be. And I thought maybe I would work on writing projects, or maybe I would become a teacher, teach at the college, university level.
Right.
And through some connections, met a fantastic doctor, Dr. Hazel, who late 70s decided that he was ready to retire. And a mutual friend put us together and said, your philosophies are very similar. I think the patients would appreciate a soft transition. And in that, saw a different way of providing mental health services, and jumped at the opportunity to come in and create what is now Hazelwood, named after Dr. Hazel and my great-grandma Hazel. And here we are. We just hit our year mark as Hazelwood back in April 1st. Was our year mark. And we're doing it different. We're off the treadmill. We're here to listen to people and hear stories and deeply hold space for people who are seeking mental health services, which doesn't happen in that churn and burn setting.
Wonderful. Well, first of all, happy belated anniversary. I know that first year mark is, like a proud moment and many, many more years to come. So your career spans nursing assistant to nurse practitioner. So how does that 360 view shape your care model?
I can see the different levels of services that we can provide as individuals. I've got a fantastic group of employees who I can support in a different way because I understand what it means to be on the front line and to be the one who's getting the call from someone who is in a crisis or who has experienced a major loss. So it helps me understand those different parts and pieces of what creates the clinic and the different touch points for our patients and clients.
So share with us, you talked about getting off the treadmill of traditional medicine. And I read in your profile that you incorporate hypnotherapy, aromatherapy, and these are also things that, I kind of enjoy myself. I mean, I kind of do it myself. I'm not guided by anybody. But I could understand if I could say it this way, Chyllia, the spiritual benefits of those modalities. So how do you incorporate that into your practice, and how do you know how to integrate the two and when to integrate the two?
Boy, so how do we integrate it? Well, so I guess to back up a little bit further, before I was a nurse, I was a massage therapist. I probably have more training, if you look at the hours, in holistic health modalities, and have felt along the way like my path is to bridge the two worlds, the holistic health and the medical model. And psychiatry, psychiatric mental health care is the perfect place to do that, because it's okay to talk about meditation. It's okay to explore the spiritual aspects and grief and what happens there and how that affects us at a spiritual level, because there are questions that come up about life and death when we're experiencing loss. So it happens naturally. And that is one of the reasons that I came to Hazelwood following Dr. Hazel, because it's been okay. He was the model for that. Let's talk about meditation. Let's talk about Qigong. We've got kind of a signature scent here at the clinic. You walk in and you're going to smell Palo Santo. We spray it all
I
over.
love Palo Santo. Thank you for mentioning that.
It is my favorite. So even when people are just walking in the front door, it doesn't have to be something that we verbally say. We've created that within the space here. And then it is
You
part of
know,
our conversation.
you mentioned Palo Santo, and I was always curious, this sense called smell. The brain has a way of registering a good smell or a bad smell. So, what is it about Palo Santo specifically? I might be getting off the beaten path a little bit, but what is it? Because when I got to gather my thoughts because you got me all excited with this. What is it about Palo Santo specifically that when you smell it, you actually do feel this like sense of calm and like this negative energy leaving you? And it's not something that you have to talk yourself through to convince yourself that that's what's happening. It's happening. So tell me a little bit about that and why you choose that as the primary smell that people are going to smell when they walk into your space.
Palo Santo is very much like sage, where it's been used in rituals and ceremonies to clear out negative energy. So, from the spiritual metaphysical side of things, I do think that it has those properties that clear space. I don't particularly love the sage smell, and I know that there are a lot of allergies to sage because it's in the desert. It's one of the main plants that we have here.
Right.
So I didn't want to use sage, but I also wanted something that was present at the clinic that would help kind of clear the energy, clear the space. Um, Talking more from like an NLP hypnotherapy side of things, using one particular scent creates an anchor. So I wanted to intentionally create a scent that when people smell that, when they have the repeated positive experiences and the calming presence that we have here, I want them to be able to smell that later and get back to that moment of, oh, I can take a breath. I smell this, I can calm myself and I can breathe.
And does that allow the rest of your process, the conversations that you have, et cetera, to just kind of flow a little smoother and less, and I think you'll know what I mean by constricted. You can have a constricted conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that allows for it?
Absolutely.
Or is it really just in the mind?
I mean, I think it's both. It has to act in both places. It's in the mind, we create that, but we're energetic beings and we can feel it too.
Right. So let's go back again to the start of the business. As you know, when you're starting a new business, whether it be a practice or otherwise, it could be rather, capital intensive. So how did you manage that early on and were able to secure, the financing you need to launch your dream and your vision?
I pulled everything out of savings and retirement and worked
A little
hard
bootstrapping, huh?
and kept showing up every day bootstrapping. I have not had a single loan to do this.
Oh, okay. So what would you say even during that process? Actually, let me bring it back. Getting your name out there, your marketing. So what kind of marketing did you do to get your name out there, but distinguish yourself from others in the space?
I was talking to a marketing guy the other day and he asked me that same question and he was shocked by
Oh, is
my
that right?
response. We've probably spent less than $50 on marketing in the past year and a half.
Really?
Again, Hazelwood, I took over April 1st of last year, but I was here with Dr. Hazel showing up in November of 23. So initially, it was me coming in and meeting with his patients one-on-one so that they could meet me and experience kind of my presence and have that comfort and confidence of continuing their care here with us. Since then, because I have built a reputation in the community here, all of our new patients are coming through referrals. We are connected with therapists, primary care providers. We more recently have had a number of patients referring their friends and family. I've got families where we're taking care of 4 generations.
Oh, wow.
So it's
That's
because we're
awesome.
providing that different type of connected care. We're not rushing people through treadmill medicine model. People want to be here, and we really haven't had to work hard to continue that. It's been about the relationships.
Yeah, yeah, and it's always about the relationships because what better way to advertise and market yourself than word of mouth and people saying, "I've been there, I've done that. Um, this was my experience, and this is the type of experience you can expect to have
Yeah.
when you go to Hazelwood because this is what they're all about." So you can't really put a price on that.
And I would say more recently, and I don't know, it is marketing, I guess, technically under that umbrella, but part of my message is about that holistic health side. So I'm sending out monthly, not, well, it was monthly, initially monthly newsletters. Now we're doing weekly newsletters, and we're starting to post on social media. Very
Okay.
new effort. If you look at the Hazelwood Facebook page, there's maybe 5 posts there, but that will continue to grow. And by the end of the year, we will have hundreds of blog posts. So there is a concerted effort at this point, but we haven't needed that.
Okay, so you're a year in, and what would you say was or is your biggest hurdle or challenge, and equally as important, share with us, how you overcome those hurdles and challenges.
Um, I am my biggest hurdle. I need to get out of my own way sometimes.
I hear that often, but please do share.
Yes. So we've had the opportunity to grow kind of faster than I expected. I've hired another nurse practitioner who joined the team in February. I've got another gal joining us in the end of July. And there is kind of this next person idea floating out there that I know we need to get them on board. And I know it can happen faster, but I think my hesitation slows things down.
Okay, so and along those lines, what unique challenges do medically complex patients present in outpatient psychiatry, and how do you navigate through that?
A lot of it really is about trying to connect the team together.
Okay.
Medically complex patients, they've got a number of different specialists involved. And, they might be seeing me in neurology, and there's a big overlap there if you're seeing a neurologist. And so having those conversations and the time for those conversations is crucial, and that can be very challenging in a medical or mental health practice because our schedules aren't designed to reach out and talk with other providers.
Okay. So where uh where do you see Hazelwood growing next? Is it new therapies, community partnerships? What do you see in the very near future, say in the next year or two for your business?
All of the above. We, again, mentioned bringing in another nurse practitioner this summer. We will likely have a fourth nurse practitioner by the end of the year. So, growing our team is one. We also want to increase the services that we provide, and specifically, we're wanting to create a series of workshops and classes that people can attend. We're calling it the Meditation and Movement Series. Having
Okay.
the training in hypnotherapy, energetic modalities, polarity therapy, movement to help with a meditation and with the energetic body, kind of focusing on and growing that.
So, with that in mind, what tips would you give any clinicians that are listening who want to incorporate, holistic care without overwhelming their workflows? Because you're adding something new to what you're already used to.
Yeah. Pause and listen.
Ah, that's very powerful.
It doesn't have to be long, but if someone can feel heard, to me, that's the magic of what we do, and that's what we do different is we hold space and we listen.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. There's a difference between hearing and active listening, and I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been to a doctor's office, not to besmirch anyone's reputation, but I felt like they were just hearing me more so than actually listening, because they don't know who's sitting before them, and they don't know what level of intelligence they may carry. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, but I can sit there and know when I'm just being given the business, and more like just moving the cattle along. So that's very important. So what metrics matter most when measuring outcomes?
Ooh, the feedback that we get. It's not a specific number. It's about the qualitative data. The patients coming back in and saying, my wife likes me better with this. The patients coming back and I had a gal recently that printed off all of the different newsletters that we sent, and she took notes and she went through. I do a 2-minute challenge on each of those, and she wrote up a little piece about what each of those did for her. That's the kind of feedback. Those are the qualitative measures that we're looking for.
So what would you say is your, when you look back from start up until now, what would you say is your greatest achievement, or the thing that makes you proudest the most?
Ooh. Trusting that the people will fall into place the way they're supposed to, and not getting too caught up in the details.
Yeah, so how do you track that?
One of the things that I see is that everyone who has landed here at Hazelwood, as far as employees, we've all landed here, including myself. I've not posted jobs for anybody who's here. I've not gone out and actively recruited somebody. We all have landed here in a moment when all of us were like, what is this next step? We want something more. We want something better. And we're not happy with what we have. And there is kind of that underlying, we are here as a team wanting to do better, wanting to be better, and being in that process, and trusting that. I think that is my biggest accomplishment, just trusting that when it's time, the right people will be here.
Yeah, and going with what you just said about understanding or knowing what the next step, because your journey begins with the next step. You don't have to see the whole thing; just take that first step. So, if you had the perfect resources in place, whether it's the financing you need to grow, or team members, etc., if there's one thing you can change in your business immediately to launch you to that next step, what would it be?
A bigger space. I love the office that we're in, and we've outgrown it. And again, thinking about the workshops and meditation and movement retreats, we need the space for that, and we don't have it right now.
Okay. Well, there's certain ways to achieve that, and we can have a discussion to see what we at Credit Bank may be able to do to help facilitate that. So, Chyllia, can't thank you enough. It's been great learning about Hazelwood and how you're making a difference in people's lives. For those that are listening and they want to follow you or connect with you, how would they be able to do so?
I would suggest visit our website at hazelwoodmentalhealth.com. They can sign up for the newsletter there. And from there, they can get connected to social media, our Facebook and LinkedIn page that are active at this point, and see where we're going and what we're doing.
Well, Chyllia, thank you once again for joining us and sharing your story. To our listeners, if you've been inspired by this story, be sure to tune in and subscribe for more inspiring business spotlights. Until next time, once again, I'm your host, Irv Cruz. We'll see you on the next Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight. Chyllia, thank you once again for joining us. Wish you all the success in the world, and keep making that change in people's lives. We need more people like you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Irv.
If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch another exciting episode.